Hey folks, I'm in my car. I know it looks really creepy, but I just wanted to make a quick video. Man, I look okay. I am fat, but I'm not this fat. I look like really big in this. Wow, this is like new levels of rotundness. Anyways, so I just finished Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. I wanted to give a short review of it. I'm a fan of the series. I have read some of the comic books. I played all the games. I read the novelization Dishonored: The Corroded Man by Adam Christopher. That's a recommend if you're interested in the mythology and just hearing more details about the characters and the events. Just learning more about the surroundings and the characters, which is really great about Dishonored is the locations are characters in and of themselves in this series. You have, the main characters like Corvo Attano and Emily Caldwin and the Outsider and then Dowd and Billy and, all these other characters. But then you have Dunwall, the city of Dunwall, then you have Karnaca, and there's other, islands within this world that they've created, that Arcane Studios have created. And really great. It's a great series. If you haven't played any of the Dishonored games, really you're missing out. Especially if you're a fan of like the BioShock games. Not exactly the same thing, but it's in a weird way. It's almost like a fantasy version, whereas BioShock is like a science fiction game. This is like, what if BioShock were a fantasy game? Because the abilities that you get are more mystic. They're not science based. But everybody basically knows what Dishonored is, so I'll stop my little trying to explain what Dishonored is. Instead, I'll tell you about the game Death of the Outsider, which is a standalone game outside of Dishonored 2. It's technically DLC to Dishonored 2, but it's not directly tied to Dishonored 2 or the events within Dishonored 2. So you don't have to have played Dishonored 2 or any of the actual games. But there's a lot of story elements from Death of the Outsider that tie into the first and the second game, as well as the Dowd DLCs from the first Dishonored game. That said, the game is great. This is one of the best Dishonored games. Like, I don't know how to rank them because they're all great in their own way, but this DLC really goes above and beyond to deliver a unique and enjoyable experience. And they really took what people enjoy with the Dishonored series and just put those elements in the game. And there's no, unnecessary, there's no lag. There's no. It's a really well-paced story, and there's plenty of action and intrigue to keep you interested. There are also there's 5 story missions. Within each mission, there are also contracts. There's usually about 2 to 4 different contracts per mission, and these are essentially side missions. So you have the main mission, and then you have plenty of side missions to keep yourself entertained. So each mission can take, I'm a slow gamer, so for each mission took me about 3 hours. But some people could probably whisk through all of that in 30 to 45 minutes. I like to take my time when I play. I like to search out all the areas, try to find all the collectible items, and there is plenty to do. This, I was not dissatisfied with the length or the content, great quantity and quality. So anyone that feels like the $29.99 price is a ripoff, I feel sorry for you guys, because it's a great price, and you are getting plenty of content and quality content for that price. I hope this game does well, because I wanted Dishonored 3, but in the meantime, if they just do standalone stories, I'm fine with that too. If they just do it, for more standalone games, I'm cool with that too, because there was so much especially if they do it at the quality of Death of the Outsider. Billy's character has really grown from the first game through Dishonored 2 to now, Death of the Outsider. And it's the best time to play as her because we have seen all of the other events from the previous game. So we've seen her from like a glance, and it's great to play her as the main protagonist, like to finally see how this world, this franchise, how it's through her eyes. And her skill set, her abilities are very impressive. And nothing felt like, it was like shoehorned in or out of place. Everything was just really well organized. I can't say enough good things about the game. I played it on Xbox One. The visuals were great. I didn't see any problems. I'm sure there will be people that will say, oh, it's better on PS4, whatever. So yeah, if you are a fan of the series, this is a definite recommend. If you are mildly intrigued, I'd say go back to the first Dishonored and then judge if this is the type of series for you. But it's got great elements that are run through various franchises. Like you have the stealth and assassination type thing, like Assassin's Creed. You have the mixture of weapons and powers like BioShock. Like I said, there are also like fantasy elements. It's set in its own type of world, so it's really a very unique and fun game. And so I say, yes, play Dishonored: Death of the Outsider.